second episode of Shut Up Mother on season 1, and it's awesome to be with you in this time of great change on the planet. So what is the show all about? Well, let me enlighten you a little bit, but if you're watching on any other page other than My Time TV, sorry, I was trying to do two things at once, you won't be able to comment, and I've just put a comment up here for you. So if you click on here, you'll be able to comment, and I can answer you. And if you'd like to join live, I will. There's a link there. I'll send you the link too, and we can have a chat live. How awesome will that be? So I would love you to join me. So what is Shut Up Mother all about? Now, my first show was last week, and there was a little bit of controversy there. You know, a few people got a little bit triggered, and they thought that I was having a go about mothers. I'm not. It's not about mother bashing. Shut Up Mother is all about the thoughts we have in our head in the divine feminine, which normally do come from our mother, our grandmothers, generations after generations after generations. And we hang on to it, and it stops us from being the empowered, amazing woman that we have come here to be. This is what Shut Up Mother is all about. So if you didn't join the show last week, I'm going to just give you a little bit on who I am, and that's I'm Sandra Meehan. I am one of the co-founders of the PowerFULL You, because we are all about wanting women to step into their own power through their own power. So your power comes from within. And then when you get rid of all your stuff, you are the powerful being. You stand in the truth of who you truly are. And that's what we're passionate about. And Shut Up Mother is one of the steps that helps you to become the most empowered woman you could possibly want to be. Hence why I'm here in this great time that we have on the planet. And it is an amazing time to be here. So it is also about the divine feminine energy, and many of us have been wounded in the divine feminine. And Mother Earth, Mother Earth is calling for us women to truly step into our power, not as being an aggressive, but to truly step into the truth of who we are. And to do that, we need to shut the little words up in our head that our mothers may have said to us. I am not mother bashing, because our mothers have got their own stuff that they've passed on. Am I a mother? Yes, I am. I've got 2 children, and I've had my own issues with my own daughter. And sometimes our daughters will reflect our mothers, and they're teaching us a lot of stuff. And we can not only just have narcissistic mothers, but we can also have narcissistic daughters as well. So that's what I wanted to clear up before we go any further on today's show. So Shut Up Mother is, I'm going to ask you, your belief systems are held but from the time you're born to around about 7. That's when we take them on board. So what happens, and I've got what I like to call my shit dolls. These are my shit dolls, right? So we start off and we come into the planet as, I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm only going to go down this far. So say we come into the planet as this beautiful little baby, and we're not carrying any baggage with us. And then as we go along through our journey and we don't do the right things, and our mother might say no to us, and our father as well. So, but today's show is all about the mother. And, we're just this happy little contented baby most of the time, depending whether you have heard anything in the womb. And yes, we do hear things in the womb. And then we might be adopted, or we've been taken from our mother. We will have issues that sit already, even as a little baby. If we've been adopted, if we're in foster care, if we've got a mother that is on drugs. So the baby carries that, and we, as that little tiny baby, carry that. But a lot of babies come in with just nice and clear, 90% of them, right, nice and clear. And over time, as we grow up and we do things, we might fall over and get told that we're silly or we're not good at something. And what I like to call it is then we start to hang on to the shit that's been said to us. Now, over time, it just gets bigger and bigger. So the more that we hang on to these beliefs, the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the harder it is to release, until the point we don't even know that we've got it. And because it's just constantly bombarded with us. But our mothers don't sometimes, and I say sometimes because I know there's going to be some of you out there that say my mother was a narcissist and she was this and she was that. That's fine. But over time, when we take this on and we've got all of this and we don't know as a child any other way how to get rid of it, and we become everything everybody asks us to be, until we don't even know who the hell we are. We are so full up with all our mother shit, our lack of self-love, our lack of self-worth, our failure. All of this is stopping us as intelligent, growing woman in the body of who we are from being the best version of ourselves. And when we let go of all this, and I'm going to use the word shit, I got into trouble last week because somebody said I put the foul language up. That's okay. That's just how I explain things. And I'm okay. If you don't like it, don't watch. Simple as that. So when we do and we hold on to it, we take it into our relationships. We take it into every relationship we have, every conversation that we have, and we don't even know. So if our mother has said something to us, and she's passed on her lack of self-love and self-worth to us, and all these things, it stops us from being the great women that we've come here to be. So this is what the mother shit's all about. Shut up, mother. And it's a fear we hang on to. Have you ever asked yourself why you can't let it go, why you're so angry at your mother? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about why you may not have a good relationship with your daughter? Is it something that has been passed on or been reflected back from your own mother or grandmother? So this is what it's all about. It's an amazing time on this planet right now, as we're going through all this craziness, to sit within and truly come within and start to have a look at it. Let it go. Because you came here to let it go. You came here to work through it. You came here to be the best version of yourself. So that's when we hang on to it. So your lack of self-love and self-worth will show up as being a martyr. Doing everything for everybody else. How many of you out there, hello Scott, I'd love to know where you're from. So how many of you are martyrs, control freaks? Did you have a controlling mother? Did you have a mother that was a martyr and did everything for everybody else? Did she pass that down to you? Was your mother not controlling and had no boundaries? Did she give her power away and that's where you learned? So and this also goes on with, it affects men as well. Even though I mainly work with women, men have these issues too. And what happens is that when the men get into relationships with women, they want to pick somebody that they want. Sometimes, not all men, but they will choose a woman, or they feel comfortable with a woman that may mother them and do things for them, because they never had that. And they don't even know why, because it's just an inherited thing that happens. So it's really, really, really important that we as women, or we as beings on the planet, truly start to let this go, because where it costs us. So if you're a martyr and you've got lack of self-worth and self-love, you'll be feeling in this time of where we've got change, you may have lost your job and you're feeling not good enough, not worthy. All of these feelings will be coming up for you. And this is a great time to examine them. And we are going through horrific times. Absolutely. Nevada, Las Vegas, awesome. We're going through a real time of great change. So what I'd like you to do is have a look at what's coming up for you in this time. So let's have we're on My Time TV, so there's lots of spiritual stuff that's spoken about in here. So let's have a look at how and where it clogs up into your body, right? So if you've got lack of self-belief and you're in fight and flight mode, you won't be feeling grounded. You won't be feeling safe with what's going on. You'll be thinking, I've got rent, I've got food, I've got no job, and you'll be in this survival mode. And it's a wash pit. And it's really, when we're in that, it really plays with our adrenals. We're running on adrenaline because we don't know where we're going to get our next paycheck. We don't know whether we're going to have enough food. We don't know how we're going to pay the rent. Lots of this is coming up, and I'm seeing this is fear. And what this pandemic is showing is how much fear we're living in. So if we didn't feel safe as a child, or we didn't feel that we were protected or we were looked after, we'll be feeling this right now, especially if we were in a lot of abusive, we grew up in an abusive family. And it'll take you back to those feelings. Takes you back to your childhood, and you won't see the unlimited potential that is in what's out there at this time, and how amazing it is to be on the planet. And that it is an amazing time to be on planet Earth. And when we start to see that, this is all that's. And we call that, it's in our base chakra, so it sits in our base chakra. Yeah, Scott, that would be coming up from your childhood, fight and flight. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, because we all live through it, and we feel it even as adults. We don't feel safe because something happened to us when we were a child. And it's once you can pinpoint that and you understand that it is safe to be on the planet. And a lot of people carry this fear because they've brought it through from past life and other lives, and it's still with them. And it's safe to be on the planet at this time. And you're over in America, and there's in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I know in some places in America, there's a lot of unrest and a lot of stuff happening. But to be safe is to trust yourself. When you don't have to trust yourself, you have to trust yourself first, and feel that you can. And I'm going to say you can. Yes, it is from your childhood. So you are good enough. And it's what we put in here, from this ear to this ear, is what keeps us in that survival mode. It keeps us in that fear. And fear really is an illusion. It's false evidence appearing real. So anything is possible unless we're actually in physical danger and someone's got a gun to our head. So when the other thing behind fear sits a lot of anger. So, and that comes from our childhood. So when we start to shut these things up in our ear, and a lot of our things, our parents, our siblings and everything have said, we're angry, and we suppress that anger. And fear can bring up a lot of anger, or it brings up a lot of tears. And when we go into that fight survival mode, which is the bottom layer of the Maslow triangle, which is our basic survival, what we want on the planet, food and all of that, shelter, warmth, love, sex, it all sits down there. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. I was on a roll there for a moment. Scott, never was stable since birth. As an adult, I go back and forth. It's a battle to find the balance. And, you know, Scott, I'm just going to go off track here. I'm actually going to talk to you because I feel this is really important. At this time, there is a battle on the planet between dark and light. There's lots of stuff going on. And we as human beings are having that within us. So we're going from dark, that's where I say the fear sits, to the light, and the thing is, and it is to find that balance. When we find that balance, we can stay in there. But no, on the other side of fear is love. There is only love and there's only fear. There's nothing in between. And a lot of people say love isn't real, but love comes from inside, just like the fear does. It comes from inside. And we can either project fear out and the Armageddon timeline that everybody believes that we're on and listen to the media. We are fed fear. We are fed fear through the media, through papers, through television, radio. There's fear, 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 fear. And we're fed it from a very early age. Don't do that, you'll get hurt. Don't do that, this will happen to you. Watch out for this. Don't, you know, so it's all this, it's just built in and we don't even know. We're mind controlled. But I say to you, what if there was another way? So when we are talking about fear, and it comes from, so if you're a very spiritual person, that's great. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So when we are going through the fear, there's reasons why we don't continue. We'll let the fear beat us because we don't want to change. We have process fear. We're in fear of change. We're in fear of loss. And we're in fear of the outcome. What if I do this and it doesn't work? What if if I do this, the process of it might be hard. You're going to feel pain or whatever. You might have to cry. You might have to shed your emotions. People go, oh no, I don't want to do that. And it's just starting. So what I like to say to people when it comes to their fear, especially around the mother stuff, the childhood, the divine feminine, is what if you succeeded? What is this costing you to stay in this vibration? What is it costing you to keep hanging on to this stuff from your childhood? Who else is impacted by it? And who do you have to be to let it go and create that change? Because you can't change what happened. And as I say to a lot of people, you are not what happened to you. You are who you have chosen to become. And that is very, very relevant at this time. We can be what's happening at the moment and go into fear and gloom and hating the government, or we can become something else and be grateful that we're still here and we're alive on this planet at this time, because that's what we came here to do. And that's really, really important to understand, that it's that survival stuff is really, it's real. It starts from childhood. It is very, very real. And you could have a childhood, you might have brothers and sisters, and they have a different perspective on what their childhood was like. You've all grown up in the same household because they've only seen it through their eyes, and they have their own beliefs. They have their own lens. And I've got a brother, I've had two brothers. One's passed away, and my brother sees our childhood very differently. Where am I from? I am from the Sunshine Coast in Australia, but I do work online. So I work all over the world. I've got clients. I've got clients in America. I've got clients in the UK, clients in New Zealand, clients all around Australia. All my work is based online. So when we realize this, that it starts with us, it's not your mother that has to change, or your father if you want to go down that, but this is all about shut up mother. This is all about the mother energy. So we draw that stick in the line. We put that stick in, and yep, there's a birth on the other side of fear, new light, and there is. And when we put that stick in the ground, we can create change. But the problem is most of us don't want to do it. We will say, oh, we'll do it next week. Oh, I'll do it when. And we will make excuses. That is feeding the fear. Absolutely feeding the fear. I'll just have a drink of my water. And you're all better than that. So it's feeding that fear and keeping that fear alive. You came to be on the planet to really break all this generational stuff that you're hanging on to. So whether you're a male or whether you're a woman. Well, from Palestine. Oh, okay, another one that's... so whether you're alive, whether you're... whatever it is that you're doing, it is up to you to create change in your life. It's not up to somebody else to change. It's not up to your mother to change. It is not up to your daughter to change. It is up to you to let go of all the stuff that triggers you. We want everybody else to change, but people will treat you the same way until you stand up and show them a different way to treat you. And, you know, sometimes it's our family, it's our fathers, it's our mothers or whatever, and we know they're not going to change. But the more we heal from within, the more at peace we become, because we know that it's their shit. So when it's their shit and you realize and you don't take it personal anymore and you go, that's their stuff. If they believe that, that's okay. But we've got all this mother stuff because a big person told us that when we were younger, and they still say it to us because we're reflecting back to them what they're not good at. And that is really, really important that we understand that. Really important. So what can you do today to take the first step to let some of this fear go that you're hanging on to? What is the first step that you can do to create change in your life and be that beacon of light that you came here to be? What is the first step you can do towards having relationships where you're not in fear of what may happen? You're not in fear they may not like you. You're not in fear that they may leave you. All this stuff, it's you. It's never them. It's you. You fix you, and then you're not manifesting them, because you will not choose and you will not project because people like that. Because you won't be fearful of, oh, if I do this, they're not going to like me. You know, when you work in the industry that I work in, you learn to let go of your fear. Well, I have, you know, to get up and do lives like this and share and encourage people to step into the very best version of themselves. I wasn't all like this. Yep. Sarah, I'm 37, living with my mum, and we have such a dysfunctional relationship. I'm in therapy. I used to have a dysfunctional relationship with my own amazing daughter, Sarah. But you know what? When I left her father in 2009, 2010. She never spoke to me for 3 years. But I kept calling her and calling her, and I'd talk to her, and yeah, I get upset because she didn't want to talk to me, and she didn't want to do dinner, she didn't want to do anything, and that's all right because that's where she was. So what I decided to do, because I had all this baggage around my marriage and that, is I started healing myself. And as I started to heal myself, and the lotus flower, and I'm not going to use the onion skin because I'm going to use the lotus flower, and the lotus flower within me started to pop open a little bit more, and little petals started to pop open, and I started to feel good about myself, and I had let go of a lot of my anger because I didn't even know that I had this anger inside of me. So Rebecca would reflect back to me what I wasn't, if that makes sense. And I truly wanted a mother. I wanted a relationship with my daughter. From the day that she was born, when I found out I was pregnant, I wanted a girl because I never had that relationship with my own mother. So what I actually got was I had created, and I created it, was the exact replica of the relationship I had with my own mother. Until I woke up one morning and said, that's enough. How can I fix this? I can't fix her, but I could fix myself and my own mother issues. And so I started to see my mother as not a mother, I started to see the woman that sits behind that label. And when we look at that and we can start to see the woman behind that and go, what's happened in her life that she cannot give me what I want or what I believed I needed, because she's got her own stuff. And when we start to change ourselves and we start to come into a true place, and we come into our heart and we start to love ourselves, because we feel that our mothers should love us. We feel that why can't she be like everybody else's mother? Everybody on this planet's got freaking mother shit. I speak to thousands of women. They've all got mother shit. And where do you suggest someone starts healing the mother womb? Good question. Good question. You just start with yourself, how you're feeling, and letting it go. And it's really it's just a layer popping off. One thing that I started with was not to allow my mother to trigger me. So I got a little thing of all the triggers that I would be triggered by and how I was feeling. I had 3 mothers under the age of 3. I'm adopted. So I had big mother issues, massive mother issues. And what it leads into, Sarah, is it leads into the divine feminine problems, because not only did I have issues with my mother, it created issues with any feminine relationship that I had. I don't mean sexual relationship, but with any relationship with women when I was younger, with girls, because I never felt good enough. I never felt I was a part of anything. And I couldn't have empowered conversations. And if I did, I'd either be angry or I'd back off and get upset, because you just want to be a part of something. And when we're not a part of that, and we see that we are, that's where it starts, because it's like, this feminine energy just doesn't work. And I'm hurt in it. For me, I went very much into my masculine. I had a corporate job. I worked mainly with men, and you go into that masculine because the feminine is just too hard. That soft side is too hard, and we get hurt in it. Start by just writing. I just start by journaling is a great place to start. And I'll have a program out soon called Rocking Your Visibility, and You might say, well, what's that got to do with the mother issue? Well, actually, it's got a lot to do with the mother issue. When I say rocking, and I want everyone to rock their visibility, is being visible in everyday life. And you can't be truly visible if you're still hanging on to all this stuff from the mother. That is in your relationships, in everything, in your job, all of these stuff, because all this energy around your mother just wants me to fix me because I have so many issues. I have very codependent relationships with her. So yeah, but you know, it starts one little step, Sarah, one little step. And you know, your mother will have issues too, but you can't change her, right? And if she wants you to fix you, she cares for you. So remember that. If she's asking you to do something for it, do it. And start. And have a look at you, because you're probably very reactive. And if she says something to you, you could, I don't know what your relationship's like. You could either explode or you get upset because you think she's personally having a go at you. A lot of times you're not. My daughter used to be like that. I said, I'm not having a go at you. But she would take it on because that's how she was feeling. I couldn't fix how she was feeling. I could only fix me and how I was feeling. And once she saw that I was starting to change and become softer and all sorts of things, she decided to do her own stuff. And Rebecca's 39 this year, and we share a house together, and we share a business together. But it's taken work and it's taken time, and she's got there on her own, differently, a different path to how I did it. But she's allowed it to go so that when she has a child, if she decides to have a child, and if it's a little girl, all this stuff is broken. There won't be another generation that comes through because she's healed it. I've healed myself. So when I come back and have another life on this planet, if I choose to, I won't have any problems with my mother, because these are all things that we're here to learn it. So instead of learning it and going, oh yes, thank you for teaching me that. Thank your mother for teaching you what she's teaching you, because she's teaching you to be the very best version of you, not the worst version. So we get tied up. There's always another side. We see it and we think she's teaching you to be independent, all sorts of stuff. And that's what we do. This is what the Shut Up Mother's about, is shut the mother stuff that's going on in your head up. Not bagging your mum, not bagging you, not bagging daughters. But it can also be, it's very much the divine feminine, the divine mother energy that comes from within. And we on the planet are here at this time to come out of this darkness and be this beautiful lotus flower. And as you tick it all off, you don't know. We've still got, we forever, like I said, with the shit dolls, you know, you peel it off, you peel it off, and you peel it off, and you peel it off, and you keep going with it. But the most important bit of advice that I can give you is, if you don't change the way that you react, the same thing's going to happen. So if you allow someone to treat you badly and you go back and withdraw within yourself, you will fill yourself back up with shit. The most important thing is that you know that this is, it's a lifestyle, it's a way of life. You come to the conclusion, you know what is yours and what is theirs. What other people think of me is none of my business, because they're entitled to their opinion. And before we go, I'm going to say this. Here's a few steps that you can do. Stop blaming yourself and others for what's happening in your life. Stop accusing yourself or others. Stop denying that you're playing a role in it, because you are, because you're accepting a behavior, or you're doing a behavior, or you're feeling a way. So you're playing a role in it. Stop judging yourselves and stop judging others. Stop making excuses for others and for yourself. And don't recruit anybody into your story, because it's your story. And that's really important. Because at the end of the day, when you do that and you take responsibility, you take responsibility for what's happening in your life. You mind your own business and you don't worry about what's going on out there, because you're too focused on what's happening for you and what you need to do. Because when we're focusing out there, we're being this little busy bee and we're just bringing it all in. And step into your power. But more importantly, don't get involved in the shit parties. And when I say a shit party, where you all go out and you all sit together, and we can't do that now, but you might get on the phone and you just talk about the shit that's going on in your life. How does it make you feel? And then at the end of I've got more shit than you. Oh, my shit's not that bad because they've got this, this, and this. It's your shit. It's important to clean it up. But instead of going that, most of us will go, oh, my shit's not important because they've got this, this, and this, and this happening in their lives. So you don't do anything about your shit. And I like to call, when we're free and we can go for coffee and all that, we've all got these little shit bags on our backs, and we bring out and we all go for coffee, we go for wine, we have a beer, and we talk about shit. It's time to talk, have empowered conversations, have amazing conversations. Not about what's going wrong in your life. Have a think about what's great in your life. And the greatest thing that's in your life is that you're alive on this planet at this great time of change. And all this stuff will be coming up for you. And it is so freaking exciting to be here. And it's so freaking exciting to be able to bring you this show. I hope you've all got something out of today's show. Today's show has been brought to you by the amazing Fuck Off Spray. Yes, we have a Fuck Off Spray. What does it do? It's good for anxiety. It's good to keep you calm. It cleanses your aura. It does amazing things. It drops your anxiety. Why did we call it the Fuck Off Spray? Well, we didn't call it that originally, but everyone just kept telling us it fucks everything off. And once we changed the name of it, it just walks out the door, and we sell it all over the world. Yeah, learn to respond and not react to the triggers. First thing is, Sarah, is identify your triggers. Identify it. And what you'll find is that you'll have not only have those triggers with your mother, you'll have it with other people. And there's one thing that I hated my ex-husband saying to me. But now that I'm a bit older and I'm a little bit wiser and I understand and I know who Sandra is, he used to say to me now and again, it's the worst thing you could ever say to a wife or woman, you're just like your bloody mother. I used to go into a rage. I'd get really angry and pissed off with him. But you know what? I did become her, because that's the only role model I had. I brought my daughter up the same way, because I didn't know any different, and I didn't even realize I thought I was being different. In many ways I was. Because I've always told my children that I love them, and I've never, ever heard that from my mother. And I know, and I'm okay. I know that she'll never say it to me. For some reason, it's not something that she can say. I've accepted that, and I've healed that part. that little inner child that's inside. So remember that when you are going through this, it's a little the inner child that sits within us, bigger people, that's hurt. We're just hurt little children in adult bodies. And when you identify that and you start to let that go and you can heal that, you'll create an amazing life for yourself. You will attract people to your life that are amazing. But while you're hanging on to all of this, you're going to get more of the same because you're vibrating out at a low vibration while you're hanging on to it. I'll be back next week. I'm Sandra Meehan from the PowerFULL You, and if you would like to join my private Facebook group, please do. It's called the PowerFULL You Movement with 2 L's, and pop over and like my business page, the PowerFULL You, where we do all sorts of things. As with my daughter, does light language messages tonight at 7 o'clock Australian time, Queensland time. She'll be there giving light language messages and that. And you have an amazing day wherever you are. But know that I believe in you. I truly believe in you. But it's time that you believed in yourself. It's time that you stopped looking outside of yourself for validation and went inside and found who you are. Thank you for joining me on Shut Up Mother. I think I've said enough. So it's time for me to shut up and go and do some more work. See you next week. Same time, same place, same back channel. Talk to you soon.